Question Let about professional education. Part 29. Question number 1. In response to societal changes, a school updates its curriculum to include digital literacy, critical thinking, and collaborative problem-solving skills to prepare students for modern life challenges. Which contribution of Hollis Caswell is reflected here? Letter A. Curriculum rigidly fixed and traditional. Letter B. Curriculum responsive to societal needs and change. Letter C. Curriculum ignoring societal demands. Letter D. Curriculum emphasizing only rote learning. The correct answer is letter B. Curriculum responsive to societal needs and change. This idea is based on Hollis L. Caswell's contribution to curriculum development. He believed that education should reflect and respond to the changing needs of society. For Caswell, the curriculum is not static. It must evolve continuously to address contemporary issues and equip learners with relevant skills for active participation in society. His work emphasizes that curriculum development should be socially responsive and adaptable to change, ensuring that learning remains meaningful and practical in a dynamic world. Question number 2. A vocational high school offers courses in agriculture, carpentry, and sewing to help students acquire skills for employment in rural communities. Which goal of education during the American and Commonwealth periods is demonstrated? Letter A. Education only for religious purposes. Letter B. Education for elite children only. Letter C. Education solely for academic knowledge. Letter D. Education for practical skills and economic productivity. The correct answer is letter D. Education for practical skills and economic productivity. The contribution of the American and Commonwealth periods in education, during the American year 1898 to 1946 and Commonwealth year 1935 to 1946 periods, Philippine education was reoriented toward democratic ideals and national development. The Americans established free public education, used English as the medium of instruction, and promoted practical and vocational training. The Commonwealth government continued these efforts, focusing on education for nation building, self-reliance, and economic productivity to prepare citizens for active participation in society. From the vocational high school offering agriculture, carpentry, and sewing reflects the educational goals of the American and Commonwealth periods to equip students with practical skills that promote economic productivity and help improve local livelihoods. Thus, the example demonstrates like the goal of education is for practical skills and economic productivity. Question number 3. During free time, Teacher J observes that a few students are building models with recycled materials while others are drawing or reading. He does not interrupt or assign a uniform task, instead providing materials and guidance if requested. Which concept of Holt's theory does this reflect? Letter A. Unschooling. Letter B. Memorization. Letter C. Reward-based learning. Letter D. Standardized learning. The correct answer is letter A. Unschooling. John Holt. He was an American educator, author, and reformer known as the father of the unschooling movement. From year 1923 to 1985, through his experiences as a teacher, he observed that traditional schooling often discouraged curiosity and genuine learning. John Holt believed that children learn best when they are free to explore their interests naturally without pressure or rigid control. Holt's works, such as How Children Fail and How Children Learn, inspired parents and educators to promote child-led, experience-based learning rather than formal classroom instruction. In the situation, Teacher J allows students to choose their own activities such as building, drawing, or reading without imposing a single task. This reflects Holt's unschooling concept where learning happens freely and meaningfully when students follow their curiosity and teachers serve as guides rather than controllers of learning. Question number 4. Toby, a Filipino student, moves to Canada to study. Over time, he begins to speak English fluently, celebrate Canadian holidays, and follow local customs, while still maintaining some of his Filipino traditions, like celebrating fiesta with his family back home. Which process is Toby experiencing? Letter A. Assimilation. Letter B. Acculturation. Letter C. Inculturation. Letter D. Cultural diffusion. The correct answer is letter B. Acculturation. It occurs when an individual adopts aspects of another culture while retaining elements of their original culture. It usually happens through continuous contact with a new cultural environment, such as migration or studying abroad. This process may involve learning a new language, adapting to customs, or celebrating holidays of another culture, while still preserving one's own traditions and identity. For example, Toby is adapting to Canadian culture speaking English, celebrating Canadian holidays, and following local customs, yet he still continues to practice Filipino traditions like celebrating fiesta with his family. This balance of adapting to a new culture while keeping one's own is the hallmark of acculturation. The option C. Inculturation is the process of learning and internalizing one's own culture, usually from birth, through family and community. The option D. is cultural diffusion. The spreading of cultural traits or ideas like food, language, or technology from one culture to another through contact or exchange. The option A. Assimilation is the process where an individual completely adopts another culture, often losing or abandoning their original cultural identity. Question number 5. In a grade 4 classroom, teacher Prissy notices that one of her students, Alvin, struggles with reading and often falls behind the rest of the class. She provides him with large print materials, audio recordings of lessons, and extra one-on-one support to help him understand the lessons. Which approach is teacher Prissy demonstrating? Letter A. Standardized instruction for all students. Letter B. Strict classroom discipline. Letter C. Focus only on high-achieving students. Letter D. Inclusive education for students with special educational needs. The correct answer is letter D. Inclusive education for students with special educational needs. What is inclusive education and special education needs? Inclusive education is an approach that ensures all learners, including those with special educational needs or SEN, such as learning difficulties, disabilities, or developmental challenges, can learn together in the same classroom. It values diversity and promotes equal opportunities by providing the necessary support, accommodations, and teaching strategies so every student can participate, learn, and succeed in a respectful and supportive environment. In the situation, teacher Prissy demonstrates inclusive education by adjusting her teaching methods to meet Alvin's special educational needs, SEN. She provides large print materials, audio lessons, and one-on-one assistance to help him understand lessons better. These actions reflect the core of inclusive education, by adapting instruction and resources so that every learner can actively participate and achieve success in a supportive and respectful learning environment. Question number 6. In a discussion about Philippine heroes, teacher Josh notices the student 1 with the name Peter can name a few heroes but cannot describe their contributions. The student 2 with the name Chris can name heroes and describe some of their contributions, and the student 3 with the name Mandy can name heroes, describe all their contributions, and explain their relevance to today's society. Which level best describes each student? Letter A. Peter is in advanced stage, Chris is in developing stage, and Mandy is in maturing stage. Letter B. Peter is in maturing stage, Chris is in advanced stage, and Mandy is in developing stage. Letter C. Peter is in developing stage, Chris is in maturing stage, and Mandy is in advanced stage. Letter D. Peter is in developing stage, Chris is in advanced stage, and Mandy is in maturing stage. The correct answer is letter C. Peter is in developing stage, Chris is in maturing stage, and Mandy is in advanced stage. The stages developing, maturing, and advanced represent levels of practice or performance used in both education and school-based management or SBM. In SBM, these levels show how well a school implements effective management practices from beginning efforts, which is developing stage, to consistent improvement, which is maturing stage, and finally to full institutionalization of best practices, which is advanced stage. They help assess how far a school has progressed in promoting shared leadership, accountability, and quality learning outcomes. In the classroom, these same stages can be applied to student learning performance. For example, in teacher Josh's class, Peter is at the developing stage. He can only name the heroes, which showing basic recall. Chris is maturing, where he can name and describe contributions, which demonstrating deeper understanding, and Mandy is in advanced, where she can name, describe, and explain relevance, which showing mastery and real-world application. Thus, the levels not only measure school practices, but also reflect how students grow in knowledge, understanding, and application from beginner to expert. Question number 7. A parent asks Mr. Cruz about another student's academic performance and behavior. How should Mr. Cruz respond according to the Code of Ethics? Letter A. Share all details with the parent to be transparent. Letter B. Provide general information but protect the other student's confidentiality. Letter C. Ignore the parent's question completely. Letter D. Give false information to avoid confrontation. The correct answer is letter B. Provide general information but protect the other student's confidentiality. According to the Code of Ethics for Professional Teachers, teachers must respect the privacy and confidentiality of all students. This means they cannot share specific details about another student's academic performance or behavior with anyone, including parents. Doing so would violate professional ethics and the student's right to privacy. Instead, the teacher should respond in a general and professional manner, focusing on the child in question or providing guidance without disclosing confidential information. This ensures transparency, professionalism, and trust while maintaining ethical standards. The option A, share all details while students violates confidentiality. The option C, ignore the question, is an unprofessional and it's better to respond appropriately. And letter D, give false information, is unethical and could lead to serious consequences. The human brain has 4 main lobes, each with specific functions. First is the frontal lobe, which can be found in front. It controls thinking, planning, decision-making, voluntary movement, and behavior, for example, solving a math problem. The parietal lobe, which can be found in the top middle. It processes sensory information like touch and spatial awareness, such as judging distance when catching a ball. Third is the temporal lobe, which can be found in the both sides. It handles hearing, language comprehension, and memory, like remembering a song or following verbal instructions. Lastly, the occipital lobe, which can be found in the back. It is responsible for visual processing, allowing students to interpret diagrams or charts in class. Together, these lobes coordinate to help us perceive, think, and respond to the world. The human brain has 4 main lobes, each with specific functions. First is the frontal lobe, which can be found in front. It controls thinking, planning, decision-making, voluntary movement, and behavior, for example, solving a math problem. The parietal lobe, which can be found in the top middle. It processes sensory information like touch and spatial awareness, such as judging distance when catching a ball. Third is the temporal lobe, which can be found in the both sides. It handles hearing, language comprehension, and memory, like remembering a song or following verbal instructions. Lastly, the occipital lobe, which can be found in the back. It is responsible for visual processing, allowing students to interpret diagrams or charts in class. Together, these lobes coordinate to help us perceive, think, and respond to the world. Question number 9. An acting coach wants her students to memorize lines quickly and accurately. She has them read, write, and drill the lines repeatedly until they can recite them perfectly, without initially focusing on the meaning. While the students are practicing, she occasionally asks them to explain the plot of the play in their own words. Which learning technique is the coach primarily using to help her students recall their lines verbatim? Letter A. Rote memorization. Letter B. Constructivist understanding. Letter C. Classical conditioning. Letter D. Repetitive practice learning. The correct answer is letter A. Rote memorization. The rote memorization is a learning technique where information is learned through repetition, focusing on exact recall rather than understanding. The scenario shows students repeatedly reading, writing, and drilling lines to memorize them verbatim. Although they occasionally discuss the plot, the primary goal is precise recall, which is the essence of rote memorization. Question number 10. Teacher Ray pairs students who have mastered a lesson with classmates who are struggling so they can help explain the concepts. Which learning approach is being demonstrated? Letter A. Collaborative group work. Letter B. Reciprocal teaching. Letter C. Peer tutoring. Letter D. Guided discovery. The correct answer is letter C. Peer tutoring. It is a learning approach in which a student who has mastered a topic helps a peer who is struggling. The tutor provides guidance, explains concepts, and supports the peer to enhance understanding. In the scenario of Teacher Ray pairs students who have already mastered the lesson with classmates who are struggling, he's allowing them to provide guidance and explanations. This clearly demonstrates peer tutoring, where the focus is on one student assisting another to improve learning. Thank you for watching.